Righto, welcome back to Freo Faithful. We have an emergency to discuss for your Wednesday morning. Luke Jackson, according to Glenn Quartermain of the West Australian, is all but certain to head back to the Melbourne Football Club, or at least attempt to, at the end of the 2025 season. This is catastrophic. First 4 weeks of the season, he was our best player by a pretty long shot. Past few weeks since he's come back in the team, he is yet again been fantastic. He is so crucial to the makeup of our club and our future. And look, with the question marks in the air about how good Sean Darcy actually is and if he can ever get back to his raging best, the loss of Luke Jackson would be absolutely catastrophic. Now, first and foremost, am I buying it? Not yet, because I need a source a bit more credible than the West Australian. And the West Australian has some really good journalists. I actually really rate Glenn Quartermain as a journalist. I think he's really good on the podcast they do. I think he writes some really good articles. But I'm not buying this one. Maybe it's my bias creeping in. It could very well be that. But I definitely see it happening because, look, when there's smoke, there's fire. You can't be naive to that. But I just don't think it's going to happen. So I'm going to take it back to the start of the season. So March 17, 2025, Luke Jackson has a press conference live from Coburn Arc, Freo HQ, following our pre-season game in Mandurah against Melbourne. Now, at about half-time or three-quarter time of that game, Mitch Cleary reported that Luke Jackson is being circulated by Victorian clubs and that Luke Jackson may be open to that. Now, Dogger got chucked to the wolves on the Monday. The club media department said, you know what, Dogger, you're fronting up to the press. So, look, Luke fronted up to the press and he absolutely shut down any possibility of him possibly returning to Victoria. Now, there was some shots on the ground of him being all happy with his old Melbourne teammates and whatever. And Luke Jackson put it to bed pretty quickly. I quote, "That's all rubbish, to be honest. We played them a few weeks ago in Mandurah. I won a premiership with the team, and I've got good relationships with them. I obviously give them the time of day, and some of my best mates are in that team." So I think that's pretty fair enough. He's not just going to ignore a bunch of blokes he won a premiership with and made many lifelong memories with. I don't think the report stemmed from that, but it certainly would have played into it. Now, Doggers signed with us in 2023 for the start of the 2023 season on a 7-year deal running to the end of 2029. So I don't know if he's this willing to get out of a long-term contract this quickly. Number one, he was a Freo fan as a kid. He is from WA. He clearly loves the WA lifestyle. I quote, he said, "I definitely will stay. I love Freo. I love playing at Freo, and I've always wanted to play here since I was a little kid. I grew up supporting the club, and I always remember watching the games. I'll definitely be here, and I've loved my time here." So, I think that press conference was March 17, right? I'm recording this on the night of May 13. So this is less than 2 months later. Has he really flipped that quickly? Now, one narrative that's running the rounds is who hit... I don't want to become a gossip column here on the Freo Faithful channel. But his partner is very well known. I certainly know her. So she had a very successful netball career. Her name's Kelsey Brown. She currently does work for the NBL. She's a very good broadcaster. I'm a big NBL fan, and she's very good at what she does. One of the best in the business. Now, she is with Luke Jackson. She stems from Victoria. She's from Geelong. She played for West Coast Fever in the Super Netball in 2024 and took an off-court role with them for the following year. Now, whether that is that they want to move back as a pair, as a growing family, that could very well be a possibility. That is sort of where the smoke's probably coming from. Whether Luke Jackson is sort of saying, "Hey, I love you, Freo, but over the past couple months, this is really growing, and I feel like the best place for me to settle long-term is in Melbourne." The one thing that's really interesting to me is that he's not just... The reports aren't just he wants to go back to Victoria. It is absolutely categorical that if he goes back to Melbourne, he wants to go to the Melbourne Football Club. There is no two ways about it. It is either Fremantle or Melbourne, and he wants to be at Melbourne. That's what the reports are saying. So, I've said it a few times, but when there's smoke, there's fire. That's what gives me the nervous energy about it. But also, I don't feel like he could possibly backflip under 2 months after giving that very, open press conference. He said he was open to extending his contract beyond 2029, beyond that 7-year deal. So, I think it would be an incredible move if this guy was really to go back to Melbourne. I want some more credible sources to start reporting on it, to be honest. Because if I'm purely going off the West Australian and one report only, then, hey, as I said, the smoke started when Mitch Cleary reported on it in March, which is what makes this report so credible. Look, the West Australian threw out the other week that Marcus Bontempelli is having a play made for him by the West Coast Eagles. A couple years ago, it was categorically confirmed that Lachie Neale was requesting a trade back to Fremantle. And neither of those have transpired. So, hey, the West Australian have gotten some big reports wrong before. I'm hoping it's another Lachie Neale situation. I remember, it was the end of the 2021 season, and all of a sudden Ryan Daniels tweeted at about 8:30 that Lachie Neale was coming back to the anchor. And look, it didn't happen. So I'm hoping it's one of these things. I need some more credible sources. I need some more confirmation. There's definitely truth to why he could want to move back, but I think there's more leaning towards why he would want to stay at Freo. The long-term deal. The lifestyle, he loves it here. This is his boyhood club. He's from here. And look, another thing I don't think what the report said is he's not concerned about sharing the ruck mantle with Sean Darcy. But I'm sure he'd certainly be looking at who's going to end their career first, Sean Darcy or Max Gawn. The answer's Max Gawn. He'll get the number one mantle there. So maybe that plays into it as well. There's definitely cases for both sides. Whether he's losing faith in Justin Longmuir, that could be another thing. Again, I don't want to turn into a gossip column and make assumptions, but there are so many things that split both ways that you could try and make a deal out of. I think we've just got to wait for more information. I am a little bit worried, but I'm also not losing sleep over it. I'll lose sleep if there's more reports, more concrete reports that come out about it, because he is one of my favourite players. He's probably arguably our most crucial player. Like, this guy's a generational talent, a generational ruckman. I asked on the Freo Faithful Instagram for the thoughts from the fans. We've got some strong ones here. First person, James Williams said, "Don't play him again. This is disgusting. You claim you're in there and request a trade." Hey, he hasn't officially requested a trade. These are just initial reports. John, "I can't believe this season has gotten worse. Can't believe my eyes. Why would he ever want to do this? And hopefully it's false." Yeah, this season has not had a single positive yet, by the way. I don't think any of our wins so far this season have been, like, I've been overly convinced about, like, full 4 quarters. And now this is happening. And we've been losing some games we should be winning. It's been a bad season, man. M. Hunter says, "Who knows, but I can't wait for the absolute haul we're going to get in return." So this is the other thing. If Kazai Pickett requests a trade to Fremantle, I think Luke Jackson's going to unleash the strap and try and get his way there, and that could just be a swap deal, to be honest. Ben Campbell, "I want to not believe it." Oh, the same, brother. Scott, "They're just copying because Cozzy's coming back home. Typical Victorians." Well, I'd love to agree with you, but this is Glenn Quartermain from the West Australian reporting. Jason, "Any use trying to tell myself it's just a contract ploy?" Yeah, mate, I'm trying to lie to myself too. There are definite sides. There's definite truth to both sides of the story. Whatever you want to believe, just believe in whatever makes you feel better, because that's what I'm doing. Royal Fox, "Until I hear from a trustworthy source that this isn't the BS West, I'd utter nonsense at this point." That's what I'm trying to tell myself. That's the narrative I'm running with. And Jack Heyman said, "Perth Bears." Hey, Perth Bears fan channel, who says no? Right, we've discussed all we need to. Now, get your say down in the comments. What on earth's happening with Luke Jackson? A bit of an emergency video that's had to be made on the situation, because I couldn't just let it be until next week's podcast. Now, back to normal. The Giants content will be out for the rest of the week. Fan cam Saturday, whatnot. Yeah, focus back on the Giants game. Hopefully Dogger has a big game this weekend, and hopefully he re-signs next Monday for 3 years to shut down all the bullshit. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time. Up the Dockers. And Dogger, please, please, please stay. I love you. We all love you. Don't leave.